Miss Judy Clark, who called me a couple times and reminded me to come back out here. She reminded me, believe me, I'll forget. And especially thanks to the Warfield Missionary Church for asking me to come out here. It's an honor. It's amazing sometimes how things just work out. As I was thinking about my speech, and she didn't give me a month or nothing to react. It's probably a week or so, right? But it's a hard speech to come up with when you're coming in a setting like this. I was telling gentlemen earlier, it's easy to talk to military cadets or at the military academy and talk to soldiers. You can be a little bit more frank about all types of issues. But what's amazing is, as I came this morning, I was telling my wife when I left, I hope this topic fits. And it just so happened that your fellowship song, number 256, Faith is Victory, it correlates to what I'm going to speak about today, because what I'm going to speak about is faith. I believe it's a true honor to be able to come speak to fine Americans such as yourselves, especially when it's on a topic that I believe in so much. When I was invited to speak about veterans, I wasn't sure what to speak about. However, I believe the topic that I've chosen to talk about is very touching and yet very real for many people. And the topic, as I say before, is faith. I believe that faith is a great topic. Without faith, where would we be? What determines a person's faith? Without faith, where would we go? And what effect does faith have on people, such as veterans, that defend not only our country, but defend our daily rights? And those rights of others around the world. If you look at the definition of faith, faith is defined by many. It has a lot of faces. One, allegiance to duty or person. Loyalty and faith to supporters, or to a person, or to a cause. The second definition of faith, confident to belief in truth. Value or trustworthiness of a person, idea, or of a thing. The third, firm belief in something for which there is no proof, such as principles or beliefs. And the fourth, something that is believed especially with strong convictions. Based on definition, faith does have many faces. Some we can understand with time. Some we just trust in. Faith in many cases we cannot see. In many cases we cannot touch faith. In order to show the many ways faith can touch someone, I'll read a few instances where faith touched a few people throughout our history. Some of these are military, some are not. Throughout history, many men and women have stood firm in their beliefs and several instances even gave their lives for their faith. When people hear faith, they do not realize that faith does have many faces. In order to really bring the idea of faith and soldiers to reality, we have to look into our past. Our past shows us a lot of ideas of what faith is. David and Goliath. As we all know, he was a small man in stature, facing an overwhelming power. But through belief and faith, he was victorious. And he overcame what was seen by many as impossible. Harriet Tubman, an African-American woman who was born into slavery. A woman who grew up with a value and belief that people should be free and never owned. A woman with faith so strong that she put her life in harm's way to save others, and was well known for her role in the Underground Railroad, which did save several hundred lives. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., whose lectures and remarks stirred the concern and sparked a generation of movements and marches that brought significant changes in our way of life. His courageous and selfless devotion gave direction to 13 years of civil rights to the nation and around the world. Dr. King gave black and poor people a new sense of worth, and most of all, gave them dignity. Dr. King's beliefs and convictions were critical in ensuring that eventually all Americans were treated equal and were given equal rights, as we have today. Audie Murphy, a U.S. war hero and an actor. Enlisting in the Army in 1942, he became the most decorated U.S. soldier of World War II. He killed hundreds of Germans during combat when he jumped onto a burning tank to turn his machine guns on enemy troops, saving hundreds of his fellow men. Audie Murphy did not know at that time whether he would live or whether he would die. Sergeant First Class Randall David Shugart and Master Sergeant Gary L. Gordon, under conditions that almost guaranteed they would not make it out alive, these two heroes went in to protect their comrades from an advancing mob of attackers. Upon reaching the downed Blackhawk, which was under intense fire, Gordon and Shugart pulled their crew from the wreckage and proceeded to defend them. While engaging the attacking enemy from the wreckage, Shugart was the first one to be mortally wounded. At the same time he was wounded, he ran out of ammo. Gordon then returned to Durant, the pilot, and calmly asked if there were more weapons on the helicopter, as he too was out of ammo. He then went to retrieve ammo from the helicopter and began to defend the pilot from the attackers. He was only able to retrieve one weapon and 5 rounds, which he gave to Durant and said, "Chief, good luck." He then drew his pistol and held off the attackers as long as possible, eventually being mortally wounded himself. When asked questions concerning Shugart and Gordon's acts, Durant, the pilot, made a comment, "Without a doubt, I owe my life to these two men and their bravery." Those guys came in when they had to know it was a losing battle and they both would die. On March 23, 2003, Iraqi forces ambushed a convoy that had taken a wrong turn near al-Nasiriyah, Iraq. There had been bitter fighting around al-Nasiriyah, a vital crossing point for the River Euphrates. A PFC, Miller, was driving the last truck in the convoy with Private First Class Brandon Sloan and Sergeant James Riley as pastors. During the attack, the private floored the accelerator, trying to steer and duck bullets at the same time. Enemy fire killed Sloan and damaged his truck's transmission, disabling the vehicle. PFC Miller then took the control of the damaged vehicle and began to attack a mortar position with several enemy combatants that were poised to attack and destroy the American convoy by driving the disabled Humvee into it and then fighting himself. PFC Miller destroyed the mortar position before he was captured by our Iraqi combatants. Miller had stood his ground firing at the Iraqis with a malfunction